Let's pretend David didn't fight a giant named Goliath at all. Let's pretend that it was in fact an invented battle with fear, a big intimidating fear. Maybe fear of disappointing God, in David's case. Mm-hmm. So what is the most powerful weapon against fear? And if we can name it, why don't we all use it?
Well, the most powerful weapon against fear is forgiveness. So if you're part of a community or a context or a world that is comfortable with the idea that people are sometimes fearful, sometimes make terrible decisions, sometimes don't do the things they're supposed to do, and continues to support them, then it becomes a lot easier to overcome your fears. I think the key to overcoming fears is your understanding of what happens next. What happens after I've either done or not done the thing I'm supposed to do. And if you know that what happens next is you will continue to be supported, then it's a lot easier, I think, to do the right thing. So I never think about that I think of that not in terms of the individual, but in terms of the world around the individual. That's what makes overcoming fear possible.
Okay. May I ask you a question about careers? Maybe you can share with us a bit about your career journey, but I guess my question is, would you agree that careers are more like jungle gyms and like ladders? Is that a fair statement?
Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard that analogy. Yeah, I guess I would make 2 points. One is that the correct response to a world that is growing more complex is to delay specialization, not to hurry up specialization, not to advance specialization. People always get this wrong. They think, oh, because it takes so much time to be good at something and jobs are so demanding, I got to start earlier. No, you start later. Same is true, incidentally, in sports. The fact that the skill level in sports is rising means that you should start practicing one sport in earnest later, not earlier. Why? Because the question of fit is more important than ever. Someone who starts playing basketball at 5 because their parents think they're a good basketball player, that's a mistake, because you can't tell whether someone's going to be a good basketball player at 5. You can tell at 12. What you should do between 5 and 12 is play 7 different sports and figure out what you're good at, because now being good is such a more complicated thing that it takes longer to find out where you're. Same is true in education. If being a software programmer today is 2x more complicated than it was 10 years ago, that means it takes longer to find who's going to be good and who has the right passion and skills. And the training period is going to have to extend longer into adulthood. And so I think we have to kind of slow down a little. When I was just chatting to some daughter of a friend of mine who wanted advice about going to college, and she had a very clear idea in her head about what she wanted to study in college, and then my reaction to it was, don't. How do you know? You're 17. You have no clue about what you want to do when you're 30. Go into college with a completely open mind. Try 3 different things, and I think that's appropriate. So it's a long way of answering your question.
No, it's great.
I think we should be pushing these decisions out as far as possible. I always think of my mother went back to school in her 40s and started a brand new career at the age of 51, and practiced as a family therapist for 20 years. She had a great career. It started at 49, whatever, 51. That should not be something rare. That idea of switching gears at that age should be something that's accepted and encouraged.
And it was sparked by a curiosity, a desire, a capacity, all of the above, none of the above. What made the difference for her?
For my mom?
Yeah.
She wanted to try something new.
Yeah.
She'd been doing one thing. Her kids were grown. She had an interest, and she correctly understood that at the age in her 40s, she had she had wisdom and perspective that she didn't have when she was 25. And that job at a high level that she couldn't do.
So as you grow a little older, do you begin to think more about the future, and is there something you want us to understand about the future of our lives, of our work?
Well, as I grow older, I have less. I'm aware of how little I know about how little anyone knows about what's going to happen next. So, I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know if I have a good answer to it. I tend to be optimistic about the world. So, and I'm incredibly optimistic about our ability to solve all problems that have a technological solution. So that allows me to remove at least 75% of the worries off my plate.